Have you ever looked at an avocado tree just absolutely covered in those beautiful little blossoms and thought, this is going to be a great year, only to end up with zero fruit? It's a super common mystery, and let me tell you, the answer is way stranger than you'd ever guess. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the very weird, very fascinating sex life of the avocado.
Okay, to kick things off, get your head around this number. A single, healthy, mature avocado tree, it can produce over 1 million flowers in just one season. 1 million. That is an absolutely insane amount of potential avocados.
And right there, that's the big puzzle, isn't it? You've got 1 million shots on goal, but sometimes the scoreboard still reads 0. So what's going on? Well, it's not because the tree is sick. It's actually part of a very clever and kind of bizarre survival strategy. Let's piece this thing together.
All right, so our first clue to solving this whole mystery isn't looking at the tree itself, but at the incredibly short and very strange life of just one single avocado flower.
Now, there's a big, fancy scientific name for what's happening here, protogynous dichogamy. But you can just forget that. Let's call it what it really is, a timed sex change. The flower is literally designed to avoid pollinating itself. It's forcing the tree to find a partner to reproduce.
So check out this 2-day dance. On day 1, the flower opens up, and it's female, ready to receive pollen. Then it closes up for the night. The very next day, that exact same flower opens again, but this time, boom, it's a male, and it's releasing its own pollen. Now, here's the crucial part. Its female stage and its male stage are totally separate. They never ever overlap.
So you're probably thinking, if a flower can't pollinate itself, how on earth does any fruit ever get made? Well, that brings us to our next huge clue. As it turns out, not all avocado trees are running on the same schedule.
You see, avocado trees are basically split into 2 different groups, 2 distinct personalities. You've got your type A trees, we'll call them the early risers, and your type B trees, the afternoon specialists. And this simple difference, well, it's the key to this whole thing.
And this is where it all just clicks into place. Just look at the schedule. In the morning, all the type A flowers are female, and at that exact same time, the type B flowers are male. Then in the afternoon, they completely swap. The type A's turn male, and the type B's turn female. They are perfect synchronized dance partners.
Okay, so we've got our clues, right? We have the flower that changes its sex, and we have these 2 types of trees with perfectly opposite schedules. Now we can finally solve that million-flower mystery.
It really all comes down to the pollinators, bees, flies, other insects. So in the morning, a bee visits a type B tree, which is in its male phase, and it gets totally covered in pollen. Then it flies over to a nearby type A tree, whose flowers are conveniently open and in their female phase. And there you go, pollination happens.
And then, like clockwork, in the afternoon, the whole situation flips. The pollinators pick up pollen from the now male type A flowers and carry it over to the now female type B flowers. It is an absolutely perfectly synchronized system. But it also means that without a partner of the opposite type nearby, successful pollination is almost impossible.
So, knowing all of this, how do people actually make sure they get avocados? Let's take a look at how this incredible botanical knowledge is put to use by everyone from huge commercial farms to regular people with a tree in their backyard. Well, the big commercial growers, they use a strategy called interplanting. They'll plant one type B pollinator tree for about every 9 type A trees to make sure there's plenty of pollen to go around. For those of us who don't have that kind of space, there's an even cooler solution, multi-grafting. You can actually graft a branch of the opposite type right onto your tree, creating a self-sufficient pollination machine in one plant.
But there's always a catch, isn't there? This seemingly perfect clockwork system is actually pretty fragile. It is incredibly sensitive to what's going on in the environment, and especially to the temperature.
The magic number is right around 20 degrees Celsius. That's about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. If the temperature drops below that point, the tree's internal clock just gets all thrown out of whack. The flowers might open late, or even worse, they could skip an entire phase, which completely shuts down the pollination window for that day.
So, if you've got a tree that just won't give you fruit, here's your quick troubleshooting checklist. First, is it all alone? Does it have a partner of the opposite type nearby? What was the weather like? Was it a cold spring that messed up the timing? Are there actually any bees or other pollinators flying around? Or hey, maybe you went a little too heavy on the fertilizer, which can tell the tree to grow leaves instead of flowers. As you can see, a few things can mess up this delicate dance.
Ultimately, it just all comes back to this one simple idea. The avocado's entire life cycle is this beautiful masterpiece of biological timing, and understanding that schedule, that clock, is the absolute key to unlocking all that amazing fruit.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. The avocado's incredibly complex dance is just one example out of millions. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible, perfectly timed biological systems are unfolding all around us every single day, completely unnoticed?